Las Vegas is a city known for its glitzy lights and world-class entertainment, and the ever-present allure of chance. In the early 2010s, the city became the epicenter of an ambitious project to turn the bustling strip into a tech hub. And on this episode of the Las Vegas Distinction, we're going to look at that period of time when Tony Hsieh of Zappos tried to turn Las Vegas into Silicon Valley. Now, the reason I mention this is I am in the process of trying to sell my domain, walkertown.com. And when I was looking to find an agency to try to sell walkertown.com through, I was looking for Las Vegas because I remember when Tony Hsieh was trying to turn this place into Silicon Valley, and I realize it's been, a few years since, unfortunately, Tony Hsieh passed on, but I wanted to see if there was anything from that effort, any companies or whatever in Las Vegas that might be able to help sell the domains, and I'm not finding anything, and I'm not really seeing where Las Vegas has even come close to becoming a Silicon Valley of the desert. But it did spark my curiosity, and let's go back in time and see what happened when Tony Hsieh came to Las Vegas. The driving force behind Las Vegas' attempt to become a tech hub was Tony Hsieh, the innovator and charismatic leader of Zappos, an online shoe retailer that was eventually acquired by Amazon. He had long been captivated by doing something other than a profitable business, and he thought Vegas would be the place for him to grow and to expand. In 2013, he made the ambitious move to invest $350 million in what became known as the Downtown Project. And what this was going to be a place where there would be apartments, condominiums, where people who work for him or work for other tech companies could show up, could trade experiences, share info, and he was really big on things like the flow pattern. He wanted people to be able to meet, discuss, and plan ideas. So we had these, wonderful apartments, which are still there in downtown Las Vegas, that look very, very futuristic. We have Container Park, which is made out of containers that you would see in trains. And again, very, very innovative. And this whole area where Zappos is, and by the way, Zappos is located in what was at one time a jail. But and if you take a tour there, you can actually see they have one spot of it that's still reserved as a jail that you can see. And but by and large, it's right next to the Mob Museum, which is also the City Hall. So it's a very interesting building, and they paid very well. And I would definitely recommend making a reservation and going to take a tour of the building. But at some point, things didn't quite work well for Tony Hsieh. His vision was to transform this area into a thriving, innovative ecosystem that could rival Silicon Valley as a center for tech startups, creative professionals, and intellectual capital. Hsieh's investment focused on a few key areas: infrastructure, culture, and talent. He believed that by creating a high-quality urban environment filled with collaborative spaces, supportive networks, and creative energy, he could encourage entrepreneurs to flock to Las Vegas. One of the central initiatives was the Downtown Project, which aimed to redevelop 60 blocks of downtown Las Vegas, bringing in everything from tech startups to art galleries, many of which are still there. And he hoped that by bringing together talent from various fields, technology, design, finance, and more, a new innovation ecosystem would be born. Hsieh's background as an investor in tech startups and his success with Zappos gave him the credibility to rally both public and private investment to his cause. But as so happens with billionaires, they want to kind of shape the world to their own vision, regardless of whether or not the world wants to be shaped to that vision or not. And in Tony Hsieh's case, he wanted to kind of change the focus of Las Vegas, the culture of Las Vegas. Traditionally, Las Vegas was associated with gambling, entertainment, tourism, and it lacked a reputation as a tech or an entrepreneurial lab. His goal was to make the city more attractive to a new generation of innovators who might be put off by the established industries. By focusing on the quality of life, community engagement, and personal development, Hsieh sought to create a space where young entrepreneurs could thrive both professionally and personally. But despite the excitement surrounding Tony Hsieh's ambitious vision, several challenges and setbacks began to emerge over time. One of the primary obstacles to success was the very structure of Las Vegas itself. While the city had a reputation for attracting tourists and gamblers, it was not a natural home for high-tech companies. Las Vegas is built on nostalgia, on trying to go back and not going forward. Although that certainly doesn't stop all the casinos that are being blown up and then rebuilt, but each time they're being rebuilt, they seem to be reflecting pretty much more the same. In fact, after a while, after you go through all the new casinos, most people will admit that all casinos are kind of alike. Moreover, the downtown project itself encountered technical difficulties. Hsieh's $350 million investment was substantial, but it wasn't enough to sustain the broader goals of revitalization. Many of the initiatives that were supposed to support tech startup, like co-working spaces and housing developments, struggled to reach the level of success needed to create a thriving ecosystem. Las Vegas, a city of millionaires and billionaires, ultimately lacked major venture capital firms or large-scale investors who could take early-stage companies to the next level. That made it challenging for startups to scale or succeed in a competitive tech landscape. And then the final blow, unfortunately, was Tony Hsieh's death in 2020. Hsieh had become a beloved figure in the Las Vegas business community, and his death marked the end of an era for the downtown project. Without Hsieh's leadership and vision, the momentum of revitalization effort faltered, and many of the projects that had been spearheaded by him came to a halt. The downtown project ultimately became a cautionary tale of challenges to create a Silicon Valley in a city whose primary stock and trade is nostalgia and going back to the past. The attempt to transform Las Vegas into a Silicon Valley-like tech hub was an ambitious, bold experiment led by the vision of Tony Hsieh. While the project achieved some successes in terms of revitalizing downtown and fostering a creative community, it ultimately struggled to overcome the challenges posed by the city's history, culture, and infrastructure. The project's downfall was not a reflection of Hsieh's leadership or the potential of Las Vegas, but rather the complex realities of creating an innovative ecosystem from scratch in a city built on a completely different set of industries. The legacy of the downtown project, however, continues to shape the conversation about urban revitalization and the role of tech hubs in the 21st century. While Las Vegas may never become Silicon Valley, Hsieh's efforts have left an indelible mark on the city's future. Thanks for watching The Vegas Distinction, and I'll see you next time. And by the way, if you like what you heard, then please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and prepare for more.